Now, we're learning anatomy, and there's different types of anatomy, and we'll just go over them briefly. First one, gross anatomy. Gross is not gross like yucky. Gross means huge, large. You can see, if it's gross anatomy, you can see the anatomy with your naked eye. You don't need a microscope to see it. Here we have the brain. You can see the brain. Here we have the skeleton and all the bones. You can see them. Here we have our lungs, our heart, some blood vessels. You can see this. The stomach. This is gross anatomy versus microscopic anatomy. Microscopic. You need a microscope to see it. It is so small. And we're going to be covering microscopic anatomy, aka our histology. We'll be starting histology, the study of tissue, in our next class session. So this is microscopic anatomy, basically our histology, the study of tissue. So here, if you were in the classroom, you'd be spending a lot of time looking at slides under the microscope. So that was microscopic anatomy, aka our histology. Then there's regional anatomy. Now in regional anatomy, the body is sectioned into different regions. You can have the head region, neck region, the thoracic region, the abdominal region, the upper limb, the lower limbs. Those are all huge regions. If you were in medical school and you were dissecting a cadaver, you would dissect the cadaver in regions. Say you start in the head. You would just work on the head. You would remove the skin, go down and look at the muscles. Then you'd go down and look at the nerves, the blood vessels, the brain. Anything that's contained in the head, you would work on it and learn all those structures. But that is not how we are going to be approaching anatomy in this class. We are going to be utilizing systemic anatomy, where you're going to look at your 11 organ systems. Remember, we talked about the 11 organ systems that come together to form you. So we have the integumentary system, which basically is your skin and associated structures of the skin. Skeletal system, muscular system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and the reproductive system. We are going to go through all these different systems in this course. A good way to remember all these systems is with this little phrase, Murders, Inc., I-N-C. Muscular, urinary, respiratory, digestive, endocrine, reproductive, skeleton, integumentary, nervous, and cardiovascular, which we're going to include the lymphatic system with the cardiovascular system. Easy way to remember your different systems, your 11 different systems. We will be starting with your integumentary system next week. So, what a lot of students have trouble with is the language of anatomy. Basically, memorizing all those words. But remember, you are learning a new language. If you are learning French or Spanish, you have to learn the language. You have to know how to pronounce the words. You have to understand what the words mean. That's what you're going to be doing in anatomy. And at first it seems overwhelming, and pretty soon you start saying the same words over and over again, and you have to say them out loud. That's the only way you're going to feel comfortable with these words, is by saying these words out loud. Almost all Anatomical terms are going to have a prefix, something that comes before the root word or the core meaning of the word. The root word, that is the core meaning. That is telling you what you are talking about. And the suffix comes at the end of the word. This sounds daunting, but it's not. Let's have a look at some common prefixes. Now, these prefixes I'm just going to lay them out there for you. What most students do is write these down on an index card and memorize them. Anti, this is a prefix. It comes before a root word. Anti, anti means before, in front of whatever the root word is. Indo, within, inside. Exo, outside. Epi, upon, over, on top of. Hypo, below. Macro, large. Micro, small. Para is beside versus peri, which is around. Supra is above, superior. These are common prefixes. Here's some common root words, and you'll see more of these today too. Bio, you all know that. Bio equals life. Brachy. Brachy refers to the arm. Cardi, heart. Cervic, neck. Crani, the skull. Cubit is the elbow. Cyte, C-Y-T-E, the cell, a cell. Gastr is stomach. Now, I use these combining valves because a lot of times when you're combining other root words, you're going to have to put a combining valve between them. So I just kind of put them in there. Most combining valves are going to be the letter O. Remember what vowels are? A, E, I, O, and U. Now our suffixes. Every root word will have a suffix. Not all root words will have a prefix. These AC, AL, AR, IC, ARY. All these suffixes mean the same thing. And you'll see these today when we go over some regional terms. They all mean pertaining to. They make the root word an adjective. Remember, adjective is describing something. This will make a little more sense when we get through this lesson. If the suffix ends in UM, it makes that root word a noun. And it makes that noun singular. Here's some other suffixes. Ectomy, surgical removal. Itis, inflammation. Ology, study of. So let's get some examples. When you're looking at any of these words, kind of work from back to forward. So this word is antebrachium. Antebrachium. It's telling us, here's the suffix, this is a noun. What is it talking about? What is the root word? The root word is brachy. That is the arm. And specifically, so this is the arm, and then we have this ante in front of it. Ante means before, in front of. So this is in front of the arm. This is basically the forearm. So this is your forearm. Versus antebrachial. Antebrachial region. Antebrachial. Ul. It means pertaining to. it makes the root word, an adjective. What the heck does that mean? If you read this word, you cannot just say antebrachial. This is an adjective. You can say antebrachial region. Region is the noun. What region? The antebrachial region. Here we have brachium. Now it's back to a noun. This is a noun, and it is the upper arm. Versus brachial, AL again. It's an adjective. Brachial artery. It's an artery in the upper arm. What's the noun? The noun is artery. What kind of artery? The brachial artery. It is the artery found in the upper arm. Here we have OLGY, biology, the study of life. Cardiology, study of the heart. Gastritis, inflammation of the stomach. So these are just some examples. On your first exam, I will give you a word, and you will have to break it down into its prefix, root word, and suffix, and tell me what it means.